me say a special good morning to my listeners and viewers this morning. Hope everyone doing A-OK on this lovely Tuesday morning. Is the 9th day of January 2024. A lovely morning in the Spice Isle for me. Maybe for others it may not be a lovely morning for you for various reasons or circumstances that may not want to put it out as being a perfect day for you. For me, it's A-OK day. We're supposed to have the opposition this morning. Get a call. We're going to have a representative popping in. Haven't seen that individual who's going to be representing this morning. Haven't seen them popping as yet. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are running late. But, we have to start the show. So let me say good morning to those of you on your way to work. Probably have to be there for probably 9:30 or 10 a.m. this morning. And you're moving on. Try the alternative routes. Had a conversation with someone just a couple minutes ago via the telephone, and they were talking about the traffic congestions around the island. And they say, if a lot of individuals try to use the alternative routes, probably we will see less traffic. It could work. It could work. And some folks, just feel that's my normal routine that I have to travel every day. And they get trapped in that traffic for some reason or the other, and still continue to do it on a daily basis. Guess they're just like that way of doing things. All right. Anyway, good morning once again. Let me say good morning to those of you who are viewing and listening via our social media platforms, whether it's the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Hope you're having an awesome day thus far. Whatever part of the world you may be chiming in with us this morning, best wishes goes out to you. And still await my rep this morning, so I guess I see someone is calling in. They probably have something they want to diverge this morning. Let's see what it's made of. Caller, good morning, and how are you this morning?
Good morning, GT.
How you doing this morning? It's not really an open line this morning, so just for starts, I'm just for time's sake, I'm going to entertain you for a wee bit.
Happy New Year to everybody. Blessing, love, No, we have a country 120 square mile plus Carriacou 133 billion in case for the nation, for younger ones or the more to come. So I think to myself in any case that government come, government go. We have one Vicky, one way, all the years, one by one way, 8 to 4, this, that, and Sunday lockdown, start going on a holiday.
Caller, I'm gonna have to ask you to pause for a wee bit. As I mentioned, it was not going to be an open line this morning. I was just trying to entertain you for a wee bit, but I may have to cancel you for a wee bit. We're probably going to do this next time because my guest is in studio. Let me say good morning to Mr. Joseph. How are you doing this morning, sir? And I say better late than never sometimes.
Yeah, with the traffic, and I just heard you talking about alternative route, and I use one, and that's where I get stuck.
You got stuck in the alternative route
because everybody thinking that they use the alternative route.
I know.
Yeah, so pleasant good morning to all your viewers, listeners. This is the first.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say Happy New Year to you also, sir. Happy New Year to you, and nice to have you back in studio once again. Seem to be all well, if I'm correct about that.
Yes, I had a very good holiday. So I want to wish everyone a healthy. That is what I'm wishing everybody this year, healthy New Year, because I've been hearing about so many sudden deaths,
Yes.
So health is what I'm wishing people for 2024. Good health. Once you have that, you go achieve other things.
Well, I agree, because your health is first in everything else. In order to accomplish anything else, you have to be healthy in order to do it. You have to be healthy in order to do so. Yeah. Man. Thanks for being on the show once again, and welcome. How's things? Let's kick it off conversation. How's things within the new National Party?
Yeah, well, we there keep looking at the situation, keeping our people involved, engaging our people. We are going around engaging our people. They seriously, they know about the new National Party, that we are very much there and alive. And we are willing to continue working on their behalf. With this year is a critical year. You will see some activities on the part of the new National Party to make some pronouncements regarding the party and other national issues.
All right.
As you know, we will be going to a convention in 2024.
Nice to know that.
And it would be a leadership convention.
All right.
And when we say that, we don't mean that only the leader, because all the positions. Mm-hmm. So I'm the chairman.
Yes.
And my position will be declared vacant. All the positions.
All right.
And people can come forward and put forward themselves to serve. and at the convention, then you have the vote taking place.
All right.
And the convention is the highest decision-making body at the party.
All right.
And so, for 2024, there will be a convention.
All right. I guess there's no date set as yet.
No, because the executive has not met for the year as yet.
Okay.
But we're going to meet coming closer to the end of January. We try to meet every month.
All right.
So the January meeting will take place coming to the end of January.
All right.
And that is the first meeting for the year. And that is where the decision, because under the Constitution, the executive says did it for the convention. And as soon as that happens, I'll be happy to be back on the program explaining
the process that goes through it.
Goes in. You remember, our party, we had a leader that has led us well over the years. So we facing a leadership for the leader now of the party for the first time in 30-something years.
Okay.
Because Dr. Mitchell has been so successful in leading the party. 5 elections, 3 of which were 15 seats. It tells you the sort of support that he has in Grenada, And when you have such a powerful leader, you don't want to change him. So people saying, but why you keep so long with one leader? Well, one leader delivering what we want. Listen, when you have a political party, you want to get into power, Otherwise, you would not be in politics. Which politician don't want to get into office? Because that is how you could make the difference. When you form a cabinet, you take policy decisions for the country. So every political party wants to be in office. And you had a leader like Dr. Mitchell that has led the party so successful that there was no need to change him at the time. Now, as everything else, time move on, the circumstances has changed, the demographic of the voters has changed, and therefore we have to look now internally. And that is what we have been reflecting on.
The call for new blood has always been spoken about.
Yes, always.
It's always been spoken about, and it's Dr. Mitchell maybe to a point maybe have been blamed. I'm saying that just over here this morning for the loss of the last election to a point. How do you feel about new blood coming into the party, new leadership for the new National Party?
Well, first of all, I would not blame Dr. Mitchell for the loss of the party. There are a lot of circumstances.
There have been circumstances.
Yeah, a lot of yes, but new blood is what we need to bring in.
Yes.
No, I agree with you fully. There has been the call for younger people. Now, what we notice with the younger voters, and they are in the majority,
yes,
is that they get tired of you quickly. So some young people are saying, well, ever since we here in Grenada, we know about Dr. Mitchell.
All right.
And how they express it is that it's time to give a young person a chance.
Yeah.
That is what they were saying in the last election, We have somebody young now, let's give them a chance. But you see, when you take a chance, that means you're not sure how things will work out.
Some folks refer to that as a gamble.
Yes. You see, that is risk taking. And you see, when you judge the performance, the last election was not lost by the NIP because the government was not performing, because the government was at its best in terms of the economy. It was. But people just get fatigued, tired with the NIP. And that will happen when you have a new generation coming up. And they said, but let's give somebody else a chance. The government doing good, but we tired, with one thing. So, yes, we have to bring in new blood into the party and keep the older heads. We need a man like Dr. Mitchell around to guide us with all this experience. This year, we'll make him 40 years in Parliament,
yes.
From 84. 40 years representing the people of St. George's Northwest, and 40 years sitting in Parliament with this wealth of experience and knowledge. We need him around to help build the party. Yes. And he's prepared to do that. Once we have this convention and new people emerges, or whoever emerges, he will work, and all the other senior members of the party will stay at the party and contribute to the rebuilding of the party to ensure that we regain control of power in Grenada. As I said, that is the objective of political parties, right?
So, of course, you want to get into power. There's no political party wants to just remain
in opposition.
That's right. That's understandable.
So Grenada, listen, from 1990 election to now, two parties that formed the government in Grenada, NDC and NMP, two, and I don't see that changing shortly, I don't see a third party, for example, coming in Grenada
and upsetting, of course, the majority that both parties.
Exactly. These are two strong parties, The NNP base is larger than the NDC base, Where the difference coming now in the election is the middle ground.
Yeah.
People in the middle. That's the people you have to that makes the difference in the election.
Do you think that the consecutive 15-0 that the NMP won on two occasions may have contributed to the last election, of course, result also?
Not the 15 by itself. As I said, I think because of the length of time that we have been in office, that has contributed. Whether we got 10, 5 or whatever, is the length of time in office that the people in the middle just decided.
I said that to say that by the last two times the NMP won the election, there was no opposition until, of course, the Honorable Clements, of course, he moved off and he, of course, crossed and he became the opposition leader. But there was no opposition party in Grenada. I would just ask it under those circumstances, if that could have led to, of course, we have the same folks over and over and over for the past 10 years or so. If that could have made a difference in the led to the outcome of the last election.
Well, for some people vote for different reasons, people have all set of reasons why they vote for political.
They could like an individual who is representing in a party, or they like a particular party. They vote for that particular party despite whoever they put to represent.
Yes,
they vote.
I think the last election did not. The new National Party did not, and I'll repeat that, lose it because it was not performing.
Do you think complacency was stepped in from?
No, not complacency. No. We were never complacent. Perhaps we needed to do more work on the ground because we were focusing so much on government.
Yes.
And doing all the right things in government and putting things in place that perhaps we did not focus enough on the ground. And when you're in opposition, really, you have more time to be on the ground.
So true. I guess you've seen it now.
Yes,
the things that you could have done that you weren't doing.
Yeah, we need. So the opposition spend a lot of time at the ground because they did not have.
I guess you have the time now.
Yeah,
you have the time. You're out of government.
Right, you're out of government, and when you're out of government, there's a bigger motivation to get back in. Sometimes than when you in.
There's always that concept that people make that you say it's easier to look from outside inside.
Yeah,
and then when you're inside, you don't really see. Well, once you're outside, you can see all that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, but what we are doing is listening to the people. When we go out to the people, we're trying to determine. What are the causes of our defeat in the last election? What they would like to see happen? Change, what new we should be. And one of the things that coming up is, as you had mentioned earlier, is to bring in
the new blood.
Yes, we get in that.
All right. So if we could publicly state it for the convention, we're going to see some new blood, of course, being presented and so forth after the convention. Most likely,
there'll be a mixture.
Yeah,
the mixture, because we would not want to just get rid of all.
I understand.
All the old guys.
I understand that.
There will be a mixture and a gradual process over the years that will see gradual inclusion of younger people
together
with the senior members. I think that is a better model than if you have all new or all young. Okay, you really need the experience.
Maybe I could also ask a question. If you asked, of course, to run again, would you be running in the next election?
No, because I believe in the young blood. Just simply because of that. No, I've already indicated that to the party.
Okay, you would not be running.
But
you will be staying on in the executive and so forth.
I will spend a lot of time in the restructuring of the party.
Okay.
And any task that the party so assign to me, and in any area that I can help, that will be my role.
All right.
To help build the party to the stage where we can win the next general election whenever that is called. But as a candidate, no, I will not be contesting as a candidate. We are trying to identify somebody. Already we're trying to look for somebody new so that they can start, going in the constituency.
And as you mentioned earlier, when that process takes place, you certainly will be happy to come and explain as it goes forward.
Oh yes, the process.
We do for a break, Mr. Joe. When we come back, I want us to spend some have a bit of conversation. Of course, our 50th anniversary of independence is coming up. I want to get the new National Party perspective on how things are progressing thus far. There are lots of other, of course, issues. There have been the cabinet reshuffle and so forth. We could probably have some conversation on that when we come back. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back after the break. Don't you touch your dial. It's to the point.
Like family, it's always exciting when lottery players get together. Now the lottery games are joining in the fun. Check out the multiplier family of Instacash games. 5 times the cash at $2, 10 times the cash at $3, and 20 times the cash at $5. On your tickets, match any of our numbers with any of the winning numbers and win the prize below that number. There's more. Multiply your winnings up to 5 times, 10 times, or 20 times more. Winning is easy. Play Monday to Sunday. There are no draws to wait on. Win instantly. It's the multiplier family of Instacash games with over $675,000 to be won instantly. Don't just buy one, buy all, because family is everything. Must be 18 years and older to play. NLA, making family dreams come true.
Caribbean Passport, join us for Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. Witness the spectacle of the mass, the music and the energy. Then we'll sprint over to Barbados for the Run Barbados Marathon. It's color, revelry and tons of excitement on Caribbean Passport, right here on this station.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back. I'm Mr. Oliver Joseph with us this morning, representing the new National Party, the opposition party here in Grenada. So, I did mention to you, of course, before the break, or we were about to take the break, pertaining to Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. There's been lots happening. Folks saying folks are saying they're not seeing a lot happening still. Folks are saying the build-up process, even though it's just a couple of weeks away before independence itself, before the actual anniversary, there's not much that we are hearing, even though there is. If you go today, of course, the celebrations committee site, you see that a lot of things have been mentioned, but it's still on a slow scale. What's your take on the process that is going on with the 50th anniversary of independence from an NMP point of view?
I think they need to heighten the process and be more focused.
Yes.
No, what I find happening is that at the parish level, you get in a schedule of what will take place, and then at the national level at the same time. And people need to, I think they just need to be focused on the major activities.
Yes.
And people still looking at the 7th of February, our Independence Day.
Yes.
As the day that we should work.
Like everything will be happening on that day.
Yeah, exactly. And the government announced it will be a year of celebration. But yet, to me, the emphasis is still on that 7th. People coming in for the independence celebration is coming in for that day. All the big activities planned for that day.
So do you think the organizers should be presenting the information in a way that this is an event for the...
That's
yes,
right.
the day is the 7th of February.
Of course, the day is the 7th. We must celebrate and celebrate big.
Yes.
And that day becomes 50. You know? So we like to see a grand celebration. But the committee need to talk more about what other national activities. Because if the only activity then, or the main one, that you focusing on bringing people to Grenada is the 7th. So what happened to the other activities? They're not important. You should have some other big activities that could bring people to Grenada. You know, major activities.
What are some of the focus you believe that they of course, the celebrations committee should be focusing a whole lot more for this independence celebrations? We hear about the CARICOM roundabout and all of these things, great ideas, I would say, a great idea. But what are some of the main focus you think from an opposition party, if your party per se were the ones, organizing? What's some of the main focus you would say the emphasis should be put into this 50th anniversary?
So let me tell you the new National Party position. Greater emphasis should be placed on people instead of things. So you have you see beautification.
Yes.
And other things taking place. All that is fine, but the emphasis must be on people's development. So you should have some big announcement of how people could benefit. And for example, the houses that were built by the Chinese government for distribution to low-income people, that the government has taken a decision to sell, which effectively means that the people who it was intended for would not get it. Because these people cannot go to the bank or a financial institution and get a loan of 50,000 or 75,000. So you exclude them. It's just like if you have a party and you're charging 500, you exclude me,
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me I can't come. Once we put the price at 500, I can't.
Well, you can say I can't afford it.
Exactly.
You can't afford it. It's not for the regular individual.
That's right. So I would like to see, as a big show, the houses that were there. It would be an ideal opportunity to distribute them during the CAF celebration.
All right.
But the government has taken the position to sell them. In this context, and because we're celebrating 50 years, my suggestion to the government is that they should give 50 units to the most needy families in Grenada to mark the 50th anniversary.
Okay.
You know what the difference that will make to 50 less fortunate people? Give, I say, not sell it to them because they cannot afford to pay for it, as a big sign, big thing for the 50th anniversary. You announce that in you have 4 sites, right? So you have St. David's, you have St. Patrick, you have St. Mark's and CARICOM. So you distribute. I'm not saying give 15 each in total, because you have 652 units. You make 50 units available to the people that are mostly in need, or you have a committee that will select, and a balanced committee, not a committee just of government representatives. Right? You have a balanced committee, and they select the less fortunate people, and 50 families, you give them these houses in a big ceremony to mark the 50th, because it has been announced as a 1 year, right, celebration. So there is enough time to plan that, and you don't need to change any law to do that. All you need is a cabinet decision. Cabinet just at the meeting on Monday, they can decide. They will distribute 50 houses at no cost to 50 less fortunate families.
Right.
I think that would be a big thing.
Let me also ask this question. How in depth is the opposition being part of the celebrations committee? Is there any opposition representative, of course, part of it?
Well, I'm not aware of any opposition.
Or maybe members of the New National Party being part of the celebrations committee that are part of the organizing of the 50th anniversary?
I am not aware of any representative from the New National Party sitting at any committee.
All right.
Right? The committee was set up by the government, and that is as far as I know. I have not seen any communication from the government asking the New National Party to send representatives on. But that is how we have to move. We should be moving forward in this 50th anniversary. Do not make everything political and partisan. Include, because you see, when you include other members, the civil society, the churches, the opposition, you get a better outcome from your decision, and you get buy-in, and you get greater support. So it is in the interest of the government to have all these other sectors and organizations involved in the decision making. What we need to do in this 50th anniversary is to build consensus among people and get everybody involved in the decision making. I find Grenada is coming so polarized. If I come here now and make a comment about the government, people take to Facebook and want to prosecute me for expressing my view. That does not build any unity. What will build unity is when you involve people, when people are open to ideas and listen, to get other opinion and views. And so, for the 1 year celebration, I think there must be greater attempt by the government to bring people together.
All right. What other conversation are you hearing? As you mentioned a while earlier in our conversation, you said no, the opposition is more out there, hearing more because you're in opposition. What are some of the conversation you're hearing in relation to our 50th anniversary that you think is of concern to the New National Party?
The major one is the $15 million allocated.
Yeah.
Everywhere I pass, and the other members, we get in this question. Why you need $15 million allocated to the celebration? Why couldn't we have a smaller budget and use some of the other resources to inject into the economy? Say, for example, the fisher folks in Guave. During Christmas, they come out playing and said, this is the worst Christmas season for them. Well, the government needs to respond by assisting these fishermen, put an injection of funds into the fisheries sector so that these fishermen could benefit the farming community as well. That is what I'm saying. You have to look at things that will help people develop. So we get that question all the time about this. What will be done with this $15 million for the celebration? Well, people recognize that it's the 50th anniversary and you need to have a big grand celebration. They don't think it should cost. And we in the New National Party also do not think that it should cost 15 million. And we would like to see the breakdown of how you intend to spend this $15 million on the celebration when there are so many other areas that need this financing in order to build the economy. Because what we want to see is Grenada grow, We want to see, not because we are in opposition, we are opposed to economic policies that will grow the country. We want to see growth. We want to see more people walking. Because when people walk in, they have disposable income, and they will spend more, and the government will collect more. So we are not opposed to any policy, and we support policies that will lead to growth in the economy and the reduction of unemployment. We need to see resources placed there. In terms of the new projects, we are not seeing that coming out of the budget. All the projects that have been announced are projects that were started by the New National Party. We need to see new projects coming on stream to provide the jobs. And so, while we celebrate, it must not only be about the decoration and the cleaning up and the party. No, that too is important, but the emphasis cannot be placed there. It must be looking at how you can uplift the standard of living of people, how you could provide more jobs, and how you could build the economy. And that is the emphasis that we would like to see as we celebrate this 50th anniversary.
All right. You know, you preempted another question that came to mind in terms of the decorative process. We know we've seen the decorations up in some of the major towns and so forth. There are folks in towns who are complaining that they are not seeing the decorations. We getting that sense of a low, community participation to a point in this time around. What do you think are the reason behind that?
Well, people have to be motivated, first of all. When you're asking for volunteer assistance, people must be motivated. Now, if you're unemployed, it's difficult to ask unemployed people to go and volunteer, the time, because they're not working, they don't have an income, and yet they must give up of their time to do it. I think what the government need to do, these unemployed people, and especially the young men you see sitting on the blocks, engage them, pay them, because you have a budget of 15 million, pay them to assist to do the cleaning up, the painting, the decoration, and you will get it done. If you're going to wait purely and just volunteers, it's difficult to see how that could be done. So I think that is the main reason.
All right. We drew for a break. Let's take it. We come back. I want us to get into other conversations when we come back. Of course, the recent cabinet reshuffling and so forth. We probably could discuss and get your views on that when we come back. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV.
Well, that was easy.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it. Eliminate violence. Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say, I'm telling you, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new feature.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, To The Point here on Classic Radio. With me this morning, Oliver Joseph, representing the New National Party's Opposition Tuesday here on To The Point this morning. So welcome back once again. And my next level of conversation once again, and we had the recent cabinet reshuffle. The Honourable Prime Minister had, of course, a press conference. Was it last Thursday or so when they had that press conference and mentioned where all the ministers who were part of the reshuffle were there. What's the New National Party take on the reshuffle? Do you see that as being beneficial to the Grenada in terms of the individuals who are put in a particular field that they are put in to represent us now?
Well, first of all, let me say that it is a prerogative of the Prime Minister to make whatever changes that he deems necessary.
Yes.
From the New National point of view, we think that when you make any changes, it must be for greater efficiency. So when you decide on which minister going to go into whichever portfolio, it must be that you want to see a greater level of efficiency that will enhance whatever you are doing.
Yes.
So that's his basic responsibility. He has the right. Without consulting anyone, he can change the cabinet.
Yes.
And remove, because you actually remove a minister from the cabinet, and he brought in one. And all that is within his purview. So we are not here to pass judgment on which the minister was given this responsibility and whether he was the best suited. No. When we were in office, our prime minister at the time made reshuffle cabinet.
Yes.
I was reshuffled in the cabinet. The last reshuffle that took place in 2020, I was moved from trade minister to be the foreign minister, and the foreign minister was moved to agriculture. So that's a normal thing in Westminster system of democracy. There have been a lot of comment outside here as to why. I'm not getting into why certain ministers were moved there. I'm saying that we are monitoring the performance of ministers, and then we will be able to address the issue with the public when we look at the performance. So the area, for example, of health that came under heavy criticism. I mean, that this minister perhaps is glad that he's relieved of that. I wouldn't want to be a minister in a position where you get so much criticism. Right? So now the government divided in two portions. You have the new minister giving part of the Ministry Health, Wellness,
also, yes,
Religious Affairs, is Wellness, Religious Affairs, and special responsibility for the Monge Hospital. And then you have Honorable Philip Telesford as Minister of Health. Let's see how that works. We as I said, we will be monitoring the performance, because you see, health is about life, and that's why it's so visible. If you go in the hospital and there's no doctor there to attend to you, that's a terrible situation, or there is no medication for you to get, so it's so visible. People are seeing everything that I think the government, besides just making the changes in health, they really need to address the situations that you have existing in the hospital, because there are too many shortages of things that we are hearing about.
But the notion is that I've been spoken of is that the situation is what they're meant for.
You still, you're campaigning still? Well, if you're almost 2 years and you're still talking about the previous government, and that is not correct, because we were getting our drugs from the OECS arrangement. In fact, when we came in 2013, that time I first came into office, we met an outstanding debt from the previous NDC government of 7 million owing to the OECS pharmaceutical the arrangement they had to procure drugs. We didn't go out there and tell the people, well, we made $7 million there, and that's why there is no drug in the hospital, and blame the previous government. Our responsibility was to get the drugs, because we are now in office. And so what we did was to work out the payment plan and paid all the 7 million. So now you come in office and you meet 2 million debt. And every time you ask about, well, why you don't have drugs? Well, we met a debt there. Pay out the debt. You pay out the debt and ensure that you get supplies. Well, you spend the whole 5 years complaining that you had a 2 million debt from the previous government. You are now in government, and it is up to you now to solve the problem, whatever problem you meet there. So you have to spend time looking at solution. You spend too much time complaining. Spend time getting the solution. You have money to do everything else, but you can't find money to provide the required medication at the hospital for patients, or to give them other things that are necessary. So I find that very strange that they will be complaining still, and shortly you'll be 2 years in office. In June, in a few months' time, you'll be 2 years there.
Yes.
So when would you stop complaining about what you made? deal with it and move on, come up with your own policies.
Let's move on a wee bit and get some conversation about the economy, which is a stronghold of yours also. Let's talk about the economy, of course, for the last couple of months from Christmas to now. What's the take and what's the talk on the ground in reference to the economy from an opposition point of view?
Right. So, for example, for the Christmas time, you did not see major activities or increased spending, and that is for two reasons. And this government seems not to be getting that point. One is because of the unemployment situation, and secondly, the seasonal jobs that were provided to people who are not working, for example, in the debushing program. When we spend money in putting out gangs to do the debushing program, you saw a big increase in business activities because these people from the lower echelon, when they receive the money, they spend it on household necessities. So you see them shopping all the time. So if you increase spending in this area, you will see increased business activity. But what we found out is that not many people were placed or sent out to do this debushing program that we have. They have some other nice name for it, but you need to engage more people so that people can have disposable income to spend and they will benefit. Because when this money, say you allocate 6 million or 8 million, all going back to the economy now with these people, So we keep saying that, and I said that on this program, that I would like to see the government engage more people, but it seems that is not the policy. So to do, it's just a seasonal program. We used to give it only three times a year, 4 times for the most. Like when you have the reopening of school, people will need extra cash to help send the children to school, so we provide some jobs.
Folks would say a lot of emphasis has been spoken for you and the new national will be referring to debushing, but there are other areas that could be developed in terms of human capacity other than just basically debushing.
But we didn't say that's the only thing. We said you must look for
I always hear the emphasis has been put a lot into it, debushing.
Well, I'll tell you why we place the emphasis there. Because we have to deal with the reality. You see, you need to understand, if you're governing the country, you need to understand the demographics of the country, you need to understand the economic structure, you need to understand where the unemployment is and how you could address it. So, we haven't realized that a lot of these people at home, they look forward to it because these are not skilled workers, They're not skilled job you're providing, unskilled jobs. And these unskilled workers, because you have a situation where you do not have the large estates that is to provide jobs before. These people find it very difficult to get other jobs. If the government could provide other avenues, because while the government is saying that all we concentrating on is the debushing, we say, well, all you talking about is providing alternative jobs, but where are the alternative jobs? You are just saying that you will provide alternative jobs, but no alternative job. If alternative employment could be provided, we will be happy, so that less people will be dependent on the debushing program. But you have not done that, so you still have the thousands of people out there that are depending on it. And you need to understand that and deal with that situation so that you can provide this. It's just some people don't get 1 fortnight, sometimes 2 fortnights.
So Joseph, we due for a break. Let's take it. In the next segment, folks, your calls are welcome. You may have a question or two you may like to ask them, Mr. Joseph. Feel free to do so. We'll also go to the comment section of the Facebook page. Haven't been on it. We'll go over it now. 435-2041. But we do that after the break. Stay with us, folks. We will be right back. Don't touch your dial.
Is now open on the Saturdays leading. men, unfortunately, are just delinquent in looking after their health.
Our health, our good health is our responsibility, not your wives or your doctors or anybody else. Your wives will support you, but the buck stops with you. It's your life.
I encourage all our men, wherever you are in the Caribbean, to start getting your screening done, and hopefully the life you save might be your own.
Join us on Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. With me this morning, representing the New National Party, Ms. Oliver Joseph. And we plan on taking your calls in this segment. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I welcome Mr. Joseph because the opposition is always important. But I want to tell him first, I respectfully disagree with some of the things he said. I don't want to take up the whole morning, so I'll just try to pass through them as quickly as I can. First, the traditional concept of a political party getting into power being the purpose for a political party, I want to differ on that because I think we had to get out of that whole thinking and start seeing it from the point of wanting to provide service and benefits to your country. We cannot continue with the concept of the political parties being formed for the purpose of getting into power. Power is not the end game. Yes, you have to have power in order to be able to serve the country, but I think the ultimate goal should be to think about your service to the country and how best you can help to develop the country. That's one. Secondly, I do not believe, as he said, that the failure of the NNP in this last election has strictly to do with fatigue on the part of the young people. I think there is the concept of that from their point of view, but I believe that the Grenadian people got tired of doing the same old thing, the same old way, and not getting the results that we were promised and not getting the results that we deserve. Since 1995, the NNP came into office and made a promise. Work you want, work you won't get. 23 years after that, we still had high unemployment in 2022, probably way over 15% unemployment, and youth unemployment was somewhere over 25%. So that shows you that has failed. All that was done about unemployment over those 23 years have not solved the unemployment problem because we have every year 1,000 plus young people, 2,000-3,000 young people coming out of college and school graduating, and we have had no proper way of absorbing all these people into the workforce over the years. They come out every year. It's every 12-month cycle. You had 3,000 people coming on your hands. We had to address that in a different way besides just the debushing and the Imani. That was not done, and I think the young people get fed up of that because you have people now who in Imani for 10 years, 12 years, their children in Imani. That is not a viable, a long-lasting solution. All right? So that is some of the things. You have a lot of the failures that has happened under the NNP in terms of projects that went down the drain where millions, hundreds of millions of dollars was squandered, not accounted for, lost, people run away with our money. All of these things put together is what I believe made the Grenadian people fed up and tired of the same old, because the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over the same way and expecting a different result. That just doesn't work, and young people are not the type of people who are willing to just sit back and accept the same old, and vote you in. Yes, I admit Dr. Mitchell may have done a lot of good things for Grenada, but there comes a time when you've got to change strategy. You've got to change things. And I think that's where the NNC has failed, because over the years, they never really got themselves into the position of change. They continue doing the same old thing over and over and over. It was not working. And you have to, at some point, realize, look, what I'm doing here is not getting me where I want to do, and you have to change direction. In changing direction, obviously there will be a slowdown, because if a business transition from one set of owners to another set of owners, there is a period where there's going to be a slowdown, because people come in, you have to first assess what has been there, what is going on. It's going to slow down a little bit. But that is necessary in order to go forward, because you have to plan.
All right, caller, let's give Mr. Joseph some of the opportunity to answer some of you mentioned. Of course, thank you for your contribution so much. Thank you so much. Any response to the caller this morning?
Well, I don't respond to opinions. As you know, the caller has his opinion and why we lost the election and why other things happened. I respect people's opinion. I prefer to deal with facts.
All right.
The fact is that we had unemployment down. When we came in, we met it at 40% and brought it down to 15%. And the caller can verify that. So I am not saying that there were other things we could have done. But I don't, you say, when the caller come about solving unemployment, it would be good for you to suggest how we could solve the unemployment situation in Grenada, or what is this government doing to solve the unemployment situation?
All right. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning. Just one moment, please. One moment, please. Yes. Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Go ahead, please, caller.
Good morning to you, my friend. Mr. Joseph, how are you doing?
That's all on you.
I'm doing great, thanks. I don't believe that we have a serious unemployment problem that you seem to be hinting to. The bushing probably is one program, and the people at that end of the scale there, we need to look at them. But I do not think we have a serious unemployment problem in Grenada with the number of persons I know who have more than one job. The match of the $15 million. This is less than 1% of our national budget, annual budget. And if you look at what we invest in Carnival and what comes back, and the benefits that go to the economy, I'm not sure that they'll actually spend $16 million, but to me, this is a small thing. For people to spend time talking about that, to me, it doesn't really make much sense. Let's see what it brings for us. No, I was shocked. I know that housing is a problem in Grenada. But for us to have to take a donation from another country to give houses to Grenadians as a sign of our independence, this must be a shame. After 50 years of independence, the biggest gesture we can give to our people is something that somebody has actually donated to us. No, we ought to do better than that. We need to show what we have accomplished in 50 years, and we need to give benefits to our people from what we have done, what we have amassed, what we have accumulated, not what somebody has given to us. So I'm disappointed in that suggestion that we'll give donated houses from somebody else to our people as a sign that we have developed in 50 years. We need to give them houses. We need to find housing for our people. Serious problem. But to me, I see a moral problem there. I don't know if you're seeing it. But thank you very much. I know the time is short.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Any response to the call?
Well, I'm surprised that my good friend will suggest that houses that were donated for the less fortunate people should be sold to them because they cannot afford it, so you exclude them. I'm really surprised at that. The houses were donated because you know how many people applied in total when the application was open for the houses? Over 5,000 people applied for the 652 housing units. And you going to take a gift, a donation, a gift, and decide you're going to sell it for 50,000 and 75,000. That is what is immoral. Because it was not meant to be done in a commercial sense. It was meant to lift people's standard, put them in quality houses so that the standard of living can be improved. And so I am real shocked. And when I see my friend, we have to continue that discussion because I don't understand.
Let's entertain another caller, please. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Joel, good morning. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
No, we had a plan growing up from zero to go back up there, boss. We had a plan growing up. We live in a country for the longest while, Vicky, Helter Skelter, Lales, all kind of thing we live in for a while. We had a plan growing up to go to the modern century, the modern time coming up right now. We have computer, we have laptop, we have modern things, but people head and changing. That is a one-track mind system we operate growing up all the years. One system, one track, one way, one-track mind system. No, we get independent in the past years gone by, and Uncle Gary, when he said England to give me independence. Yeah, some people went up to England and demonstrated against that. Bishop went up and demonstrated, Mr. Blaze went up and demonstrated against independence. They come back and pause their policy, no independence for growing up. Bishop said no independent, Mr. Blaze said no independent. Gary stayed back for a while, came back and he said he have it in the bag. Now, people are against him at the time, they didn't want to have independence and Gary. The external Grenada at the time, no electricity to put up the flag up on the fort at the time. He had to use candle, Masanto and Delco to put up the light, to put up the flag up on the fort. Today, the same people celebrating 50th anniversary. What double standard we are living as a people. Everybody have a vision, everybody have a plan, and everybody have a time to expire itself. What I could do, you might never do it. So who have the vision to do things to bring Grenada forward? Give them the chance to do as black people. We all come from poor children. All of us Grenadian people who in authority come from poor children. One house, bedroom, toilet. And they go to university, they achieve all knowledge, and they come and they have a degree, and they end up on the country.
Caller, I will ask you to just get to the major point because we got to wrap.
Yeah, I know we got to wrap. But we're independent. We come from as poor people. Those in authority as politicians, poor children. So we're supposed to know the struggle from poor people on the bottom. But they have a degree, they hide the title now. And they forget where people where they come from. That's the problem. I'll think we'll see about only for next time.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Let me I could grab some of the comments we yourself. Going to steal maybe another 2 or 3 minutes before we wrap this morning, Sir Joseph. Let's take this one from Antonio before he complains I'm not taking his comment this morning or his contribution. And Antonio's asking, Mr. Joseph, according to the Honorable Delma Thomas, according to from what you heard from her on the ground, NMP lost because of Dr. Mitchell. We now saw that the youngest PM. Of course, of France, who is 34. Question, do you think that the 34-year-old that for 34 years, Dr. Keith Mitchell actually built new leadership because he said he don't see anyone to pass on to leadership? If you understand the question?
Well, this question pointing to the fact that we should have had young leadership. I am not going to comment on what Honorable Delma Thomas said. I didn't hear that comment, but I have said that the party is restructuring and we are looking at bringing in new blood.
Yes.
That is what the position is. I don't think that we lost solely because we had an elderly leader than the other side. Because he will come to if you accept that, then you're accepting that people vote just based on age. And I don't think that people vote just because of age.
Okay.
So and unless you have a scientific poll that go around and ask people why they vote, it's all speculation and assumption. To get the real facts, you must do a scientific poll and ask people that, and to get the real facts. That's why people vote.
Let's take our final caller this morning. I guess we lost that caller there for some reason. I was going to give that caller the opportunity, and let's take this one, which will be our final caller this morning. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Oliver. Mr. Oliver, here you give advice to the NDC that you would love to see that they give out 50 poor and vulnerable houses free not to pay. Mr. Oliver would like you and your party to identify 50 poor and vulnerable that you all improve and they live in a standard, take them out from the pit latrine and give them flush toilet. That is an improvement. It's not late. You all could identify 50 of the people that tell you improve them from that state and bring it out for the independence. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
That's very simple because the caller, we did, because we built toilet and bathroom for more than 50 people. In fact, just in St. David's alone, we did 20-something. And throughout the island, we had a program. We didn't do it like what you call wash. And it was budgeted for. It was budgeted, and you had gangs, the brigades, paid to go out to build bathroom and toilet for people. But we do not want to come out with a list now and say, well, look at these people that we build for. That's a different thing than the houses that's there that the government decide to sell. And we're saying, well, why don't you donate 50 towards the thing? That's a completely different thing. We would not go and call people names now and say, these 50 people will build bathroom and toilets for them. We would not do that.
All right.
But it's a different situation.
So do you have any closing comment for wrap?
I want to say that as we celebrate our 50 years as an independent country, I would like to see greater collaboration and involvement of all sectors so that we can build consensus as we move forward, and that is what's going to help us to see Grenada develop and strive. Let us work together and let us involve more stakeholders so that we can have great consensus building.
All right. I want to thank you very much for being on the program, Mr. Joseph. As always, hope to have you back as soon as possible, and of course, and giving more information as relates to the new National Party. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Hey, let's say thanks to our listeners and viewers this morning. Thanks for being part of the program, folks. To the point, join us again for another edition. Tomorrow's program will be, of course, we have a representative from the government in. You could join us then. Until then, have yourself a good one. That's why I say goodbye.